Today's video is sponsored by our very own spring store, but more about that later.
Hi everybody and welcome to the Saturday Surface Interval in association with Mpora. So most scuba divers progress up through the training ladder up to rescue diver. It's probably the best course for you to undertake. It won't let you dive any deeper or go anywhere extra special or anything. It's purely a course so that you can become a better scuba diver in yourself, so that you and all of your dive group are all just a little bit better. Now, I'm going to be talking about the bad aspects of becoming a rescue diver, but I wouldn't let you put this off or put you off rescue diver. And I know everyone says this about rescue, but it is actually the most rewarding course for you to take. And I honestly mean that. Now, when I taught scuba, I used to teach students about their bubble and how they can focus on whatever is inside of their bubble. As their skills improved, their bubble grew larger to consider more things around them. I think I heard about the concept online or from, I don't know, Anthony Hopkins on Zorro, but at Rescue Diver, you're expanding your bubble to not only just include yourself, your equipment and your buddies, but other people in the water and on the boat as well. You will have skills and knowledge on how to both prevent and help incidents in and out of the water. It's an amazing course, but it does have its ups and downs. You learn a lot on a rescue diver course, which is a blessing and a curse. Up until rescue, all of the media and the training is all sunshines and rainbows, happy faces and happy scuba diving families. The water is crystal clear and blue, but as soon as you reach rescue, it gets a bit dark. The course is focused on worst case scenarios, so you're going to see a lot of unconscious and panicking divers, and the best instructors and assistants are going to make it seem as real as possible with shouting and stress, because when you actually come across a real world panicking diver, they're not going to be holding back. So a good instructor, they're not going to be the worst that they possibly can, but they're going to try and make it feel as authentic as possible. You learn about some of the bad things that can happen to you while scuba diving in your introductory courses, but in rescue, you're going to go into greater detail about how these problems occur and what their effects are. Scuba diving becomes a bit more serious when you learn about arterial air embolisms and whether you should prioritize that heavy bleeding or the fact that they're not breathing, whilst working out how you're going to get this 200-pound guy out of the water. Once you're trained to look out for small problems and actions that can lead to incidents, you're probably going to find it hard to turn that switch off. Before rescue, most divers will do their thing, happily swimming around in their blissful ignorance in the water, but now you're going to be much more aware of what everybody else is doing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because you might help prevent an incident, but it of course is going to take up your time and your attention thinking about others and analysing things that you can see. Your casual dives will now have a small element of just checking other divers out and almost looking for trouble. Even if it's not there, you're at least checking for it. Instead of looking around at the environment and looking for small little critters and sort of fun kind of things to look at, you're still going to be doing that, but you're going to be glancing around every now and then just to make sure that everyone's okay. You also need to find the correct way to ask someone or confront somebody you might not even know about an issue that you might have noticed without offending them. You'll want to say something about someone's gear or actions, but they may already be aware of it and it's perfectly fine, but then it's up to you. Don't be condescending or anything. I know you're only there trying to help, but some divers don't really have a great deal of tact when it comes to pointing things out, so do be delicate. When you do your rescue, you'll learn about the benefits of spares and replacements and emergency equipment. So you'll find yourself wanting to invest in extra equipment that you find yourself carrying around in your kit bag, and your kit bag just gets bigger and bigger and heavier. But it's important not to go nuts, because especially if you dive as part of a regular group, because if you're all carrying the same identical spare parts, then you're just wasting space and energy carrying replacements for the replacements that someone's already got. So try and get together if you are diving in a big group and decide who brings the tools, who's going to bring the replacement parts, and who's going to bring the medical kit, and so you're not all carrying the same stuff. There's also a certain amount of mental baggage that can come with rescue diver if you're involved in an incident. Now, we will teach you about how to manage your mental health should you become involved in an incident, and it's important that you take that part of your training on board, because you cannot internalize everything, and to be honest, you can't save everybody. If you are involved in any way, you need to talk it through with somebody so that your mind doesn't play through the incident over and over again, blaming yourself for not doing something or doing something differently. You need to be able to tell yourself that you're only a rescue diver, you're not a paramedic, you're not a doctor. Your job is really to get the victim to professional help as best they can, and that's about it.
Calling all scuba divers want to stand out of the non-diving crowd? Do you want people to know that you're a scuba diver? Well, then our very own Spring store will help you out. We stock tees, stickers, hoodies, phone cases, even mugs that all have a scuba diving theme. From our super popular emotional Bolt Snap tee, our Cave Shark sticker, to our Scuba Dude hoodie, we have something for everyone. And our range is becoming more eco-friendly each month thanks to Spring's eco-friendly range. Each order is printed fresh, which means less waste, less plastic, and it's better for the environment, and also helps battle clothing waste as well. To view our full range, just click on the link pinned in the comments. And hey, why not treat yourself to 10% off your total order with the discount code DSN10. That's DSN10. Okay, back to the video.
When I go through a dive roster, I do take note of diver levels so that should something happen, I know who can help me and what I can ask from somebody. There's no point in just asking blindly anybody to help me out with chest compressions, because chances are that they may not know how to do them properly. But if I know that you're a rescue diver, then I also know that you've been taught basic first aid and techniques on how to care for divers in and out of the water, and how to transition them out of the water as well. It's not just as simple as lift the victim out of the water, it's a bit more complicated. Once you pass the rescue diver threshold, there's no real going back. You now have a responsibility to other divers around you to do your best to help out where you can. As I've said before, you're not expected to prevent or fix every little thing that should happen on a dive boat or in the water, but you do need to assess the situation and know when it's your responsibility to step in, because you and your skill set could help the outcome. Becoming a rescue diver means that you are now basically making everything around you just that little bit safer. Sure, there may be some more experienced team members and professional divers around, but when something bad happens, at least you can help instead of just standing there with your hands in your pockets. You don't have to be Captain America swooping in to save the day, but at least you can be the one to help set up the AED or help people out of the water without getting in the way. One of the best things that rescue will teach you is to look out for the little red flags that can build up to an incident. They actually call it an incident pit, where all of these little incidents by themselves, they don't really mean very much, but added up, they eventually lead to something big bad happening. But if there's someone on the boat that can notice these little red flags, they can help prevent an incident. And that's far more important for me than helping after an incident. Little things like noticing that someone is just a bit nervous or quiet before a dive, or the hose is leaking or something, or the weather is changing. If there are more rescue divers around, then you're gonna be in a good place. So again, rescue diver is a great qualification and course. It's a good fun course, but it's not really an easy course neither. You can't really coast through rescue. You need to be prepared for as much as possible, and it will change the way that you dive after you take the course. It's less about you. At that point, it's more about what you can do for others around you. Sorry this wasn't as fun as some of the other surface intervals. I mean, rescue and scuba diving incidents aren't the most fun of topics to talk about, and I couldn't really think of a fun way to spin on why rescue diver sucks, but a bonus thing I just thought of during your rescue diver course is losing kit. That sucks. With all of the equipment removal you're going to be going through and practicing, it's not unusual for you or someone else to drop a mask, even if it's not your own. So when you're doing your skills, don't bring anything fancy, don't bring your really expensive mask, try and use your backup mask. I've known divers lose equipment never to be seen again, so don't bring anything overly fancy. Thank you for watching everybody, and of course, safe diving.